Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Just collecting the timber runner that I have now purchased. In the night I was paying attention to just how much money we got with the cattle and that now. We end up gaining, after maintenance costs and everything else have been factored in, we end up gaining around 250 euros overnight from our 19 cows. Right now we have 69 pigs, and we'll have another one in 23 minutes. And the reproduction rate is every 2 hours. So it's improving quite quickly. I reckon if we had another load of pigs in there, that would improve it even more drastically. The cows, we're going to have another one in just 3 hours. I would like to increase those. All of them, the food is starting to get a bit low. We do have some crops here that we can tip in for the pigs, although we've got our own crops now starting to grow. So very soon they're going to be able to be... Unfortunately, though, because I did it overnight, our growth speed is on normal. That's the I can't remember if I originally had it on slow or if I've always had it on normal. I think maybe we should switch that back to slow because we've gone past the first growth stage, which is that colour there. Our crops, we can no longer use the weeder on them. Which means that we've only got one stage of fertilizer on these. These two here, they've got 3 stages of fertilizer, so those will be okay. But that field, and the two up there, they've only got the 1 stage of fertilizer on them, which is a little bit unfortunate. I think I will probably... I might do that now, so that it doesn't go too quickly. We will change the growth speed back down to slow, because I did have it on slow when I was... doing the rolling and everything, and I think keeping it on slow would be better. It does mean that it takes a little longer to get the crops ripe and ready for harvest. I think it takes about 2 days rather than doing it all in just over a day. It's something like that. It's not... I don't know what the exact figures are. However, I don't think it's going to be too bad, and we should have enough food in the pigs for now to keep them going until harvest. And we're growing sunflowers and we're growing corn, so that will be 2 lots, and then we've got some wheat and barley in storage just to take care of the rest. So I'm going to bring this one up here. You've probably noticed that I have chopped some of them in half. That one tree there, I haven't actually done anything to it. I can't remember if that particular tree ended up did I end up cutting it down or not. I'm not really sure. I will try nudging it with this one a minute. Now, I'm going to be doing this from out of cab. I'm not going to attempt to do this in cab. Someone did suggest to me that I should do a couple of episodes, one after the other, completely from within cab. And I did wonder... Oh, no, I did actually cut that one. So if I very quickly jump out and trim all the branches off. Someone suggested that perhaps I should... do an episode where I stay in cab completely, and I did wonder about putting that as a weekly question. Did you want me to spend an entire week in cab? I won't waste a weekly question on that. And incidentally, that brings me to my weekly question, which is this week: how many pigs do you want me to accumulate in total? Do you want me to go for my original plan of 100 pigs? Do you want me to go more than that and go for 200? Do you want me to go for 300? Or do you want me to go for 400 pigs? Before I start selling any, and then keep the number like that until and then just sell the surplus beyond the 400 or 300 or 200 or 100. It's your vote, it's your game. Head in the comment section down below and let us know why you're voting for the one that you're voting for. And please be aware that I am aware of some of your concerns, that it's not very realistic having 400 pigs in that tiny pig pen. Unfortunately, I don't think it could ever be classed as realistic having more than about 50 pigs in the Farming Simulator maps. I just don't think it works. So with that in mind, I think we're just sort of going to have to go for a bit of, call it artistic license, and live with it, really. I don't think that we could expect to be able to have a 100% realistic map for animals. I haven't seen any yet. I mean, maybe someone will be able to produce one at some point that really does look realistic for a large number of animals, but at the moment I am aware that it isn't particularly realistic. The the scale of the animals, but I don't think there's a lot that we can do about it, and I don't think that should prevent us from trying to increase our numbers if that's what we decide that we want to do. So yeah, don't forget to actually cast your vote up in the top right hand corner, and we are going to try and load all of these up. This trailer cost me 17,600. The extra 600 was for the wide wheels. I always like to get the wide wheels if possible, the flotation tyres, to try to reduce any potential... I need to just go around this side so I can... Oh, I see. I'm going way too far over. Actually, it'd be better if I just nudged it forward a bit there. Yeah, to try to reduce compaction on whenever we do any field work. I do like to try to do that. That is a realistic sort of thing that you would normally do. I'm actually quite enjoying this. I didn't get on with this log fork at all when I was doing my time-lapse episode, because I had a lot of them, and I think it was partly because I was trying to handle more than one log at once. I had it on the what do you call it? Telescopic handler on the New Holland telescopic handler that we've got on the time-lapse map. And I didn't really get on with it. It's not great, especially when they're lying flat on the ground, because you've got to sort of twist it into an unrealistic approach to pick them up. You've got to go right from the top and then tilt it over and push down, and that's not how you do it in real life. It kind of spoils it a little bit for me, but there's not a lot that we can do about that. I'm going to load a few more of these up now, and then I'll get back to you and sort of give you an update on my progress. Yeah, look, see, this is what I mean. I should be able to just slide under that. If it was real life, I would have just been able to slide the log forks under that by pushing into the leaf litter, but you can't do that in this game. And that is one thing that does spoil this a little bit for me. But yeah, well, there's not a lot that we can do about that, so I will continue loading and get back to you when I've cleared the area a little bit. Well, we're getting there slowly. I think we might actually get all of this timber onto the one trailer, which quite surprises me. It's amazing just how much timber you can get onto these trailers. It's a little bit time consuming because we can only do one log at a time. I would prefer it if we could have a wheel loader to do this, because you can scoop up loads of timber with that, but that's on a bigger scale. That's when you start using the Ponzi Scorpion to do the gathering of the chopping of the trees rather than using a chainsaw. And also then I would use the occasionally, if you don't get it dead right, it can sort of, the timber can drift around a little bit, so you do have to treat it carefully and drive fairly steady, but generally I'm doing okay with it. Yeah, it's bouncing a little bit, this one. So this has probably performed worse than any other log that I've loaded so far. Well, it's because I've got it out on one side. That's why I'm getting this horrible dancing effect. But there we go. Oh, no, I see what I've done. I need to just nudge back down that way a little bit, so that it doesn't go up onto the head of the trailer up here. There we go. Ooh. Now, of course, the next big thing is going to be unloading the trailer. I'm hoping that I can back it into a pond to be able to do it. Look, see, that one, I haven't done that very well. I reckon if I can just get down to the end, I can just pick that up a bit and pull it back just a tiny bit. I only need to do it a little tiny bit. And I'm deliberately going at this angle. I'm way out of cab, and I have been moving around a little bit, actually. I want to just come in a little bit there so that I can see that one. Oops. Yeah, it isn't easy getting it all lined up. Right, there we go. Now, if I zoom out a bit, I can sort of see what I'm doing here. I need to try and push forward just enough. There we go. Now I can unload it again. Just let go of it. Perfect. Right, I'll go and get that log down there, and then we'll come back up, and we've got a few more up here. I might actually would take this load and then come back and get another load. I want to see where the best place to do it is. I don't really want to take the loader with me and unload it by hand. I'd prefer to just, even if we get less money doing it that way, I'd prefer to back this into a mill pond or something like that, and take a little bit less money for it, because it is going to be so much quicker to just do it like that. And I think we're going to get several thousand for this. We've got some very big tree trunks in here. I was considering hiring the Sampo Rosenlu tree cutter. I'll show you the one I mean. In forestry equipment, and come over here. This one here, I was considering hiring that one. You cannot process very large trees, but I don't know how big it would go up to, because most of these trees here are very big trees. We do have a few there, right, that one right in front of there, and that one over there. So we've got a few that are smaller trees, so I'm not sure how many trees that Sampo Rosenlu would actually be able to process or not. So it might be something that we do at a later date, perhaps, when we can risk it. I certainly don't want to buy it. I've got no intention of buying that one. It's 180,000 euros. It's a huge amount of money. I'd be better off if I'm going to lease, or if I'm going to buy one, I'd rather buy the Scorpion, which will just take all the trees. I'm not spending 180 grand on something that can't even cut down all the trees. This one here is perhaps a little bit too big. It's sliding off the fork as well. Okay, this is going to stick way out the back. This one is perhaps a little bit oversized. I might be just a teensy bit ambitious with this one. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. I am hopeful, as always. Right, let's put that one down on there. Do it up, and then you pick it up like that. Right, we've got the log in our grip. Can we get it onto the trailer without mishap? I'm confident that we can. I've surprised myself that I've been able to load this one fairly event-free. You do occasionally catch on the top there a little bit, but generally, I think I'm doing fairly well. We've got some long logs that stick out the back a bit, but generally speaking, we're doing okay. And right, I was thinking of going and taking a load now. If I was to just get those two that are lying across the track, because it would be nice to see how much we get for this. And then we can come back, and we could always cut down a couple more trees if we really want to, just to kind of make up the load. There's one log there that I want to get, and then that other little tiny one across the track. I'll finish. I'm going to load a few more, and then we'll see how we're doing for time as to whether I'm going to cut down any more trees today. My topic of discussion for today is, do you want me to do another episode of Forestry at the beginning of next week? Do you want me to cut down a few more trees before next week so that we got some ready to work on and then sell a few more, or would you like me to do something different? So that is the topic of conversation for today. Head into the comment section, let us know what you're thinking, give us your thoughts on the subject, and obviously try to what was I going to say? Yeah, if you want me to, or if you don't want me to, see if you can't persuade other people to come round to your way of thinking. Yeah, sorry, I got a bit sidetracked. There's something odd in the tree, in the shadow there, but it turned out to be nothing. Right, I've got one branch there that I do need to clean up a bit. And I need to pick this right up so that it comes over the top of my tractor. Yeah, I'll carry on loading this load, and I'm not going to do too much more, and then we can go and see about selling it. Right, we've got this many trees on here. We could probably stick a few more on, but I think we've actually got a few more here than we could fit onto this trailer, unless we really piled it high. I don't really want to risk it falling down. So what we'll do is we'll now put the straps on. I think that's it. Yeah, you press R to put the straps on. You go up, and then you just sort of work your way down, and it should just show up each time. And how close do you have to get? Oh, there's another strap. Press R there. Another one. They seem to be at reasonably regular intervals. Put one there. And it is you can see the timber dancing around slightly, but once you put these straps on, they're actually really, really good, and they do hold the load in place, which is something that was sadly missing from FS15. I remember more than one log dancing out of the trailer when you were transporting it, but look at that. There's one log there that doesn't look like it's quite been caught by the straps. I'm hoping it'll be all right. We'll have to see. Can you get a strap here on the back? No, I don't think you can. Okay. Now we've got to find out where we've got to go. So I know that we've got a lumberyard down here, And we've got a lumberyard over here as well. This one here is a lot closer, so we'll go to this one. And I know that you can back into the water at that one, which we have done. I don't think there's any water you can back into at that lumberyard down there, although I'm not sure if there's a difference in price anyway. So we're going to go for the one that's nearer, and we're just going to hope that we're actually able to tip. So I think that the best way for us to go is actually going to be out of here. We'll go this way rather than out onto the main road, and we'll go across that tiny little rickety old bridge, and then we'll go just the other side. So we'll turn left after the bridge, and we're going to follow the river along until we reach the lumberyard. Okay, heavy load going down the hill. This does look fantastic. Look at that. That really does look good, that does. Oh, that is brilliant. What a view, what a picture. I'm actually really pleased. It just looks impressive. There's something about that just looks good. This Kirovitz tractor just seems so perfectly suited to this task. I reckon we probably have put more timber on here. Oh well. Maybe we'll try that next time. If you guys do want me to do a little bit more forestry work next time, then maybe we'll load up the... Look at this. Look at this. This is not realistic at all. Oh, that is sensational, that is. Brilliant. Look at all that timber. That is sensational. Right, I'm really pleased with that. I think I might actually use that as my thumbnail this time. I've actually posed a nice thumbnail. I thought it'd be really cool. Sort of quite in keeping with today's episode. I know I don't... a lot of people, they'll do like their thumbnails and stuff. It's like a top secret. It's behind the scenes kind of work and so on. I do talk to you about my thumbnails a little bit. I try to get something that is entertaining from the video. I always try to keep it on point. I don't want to be using a clickbait thing that is nothing to do with my episode. And I actually posed a picture while I was loading this load. I posed a good picture, I thought, with the Kirovitz in the front of the picture, and you had the Kramer there as well, with a big log on the loader fork, and it was just getting ready to tip into the trailer here. But that one, where we were just going across the bridge, either coming down the hill with this trailer full, or going across the bridge, I thought that looked equally good with this Kirovitz trailer. I mean, even here, I'm spoilt for choice for thumbnail pictures today. So yeah, it's going to, at the moment, it's as much of a mystery for me as it's going to be for you. Actually no, it's a mystery for me at the moment, but by the time you're watching this video, you'll already know which one I've picked. So yeah, I do put quite a bit of thought into my thumbnails. Sometimes I sort of forget about it while I'm filming, and then I have to try and make the best of it afterwards, and so you'll probably notice that some of my thumbnails are not nearly as good as other thumbnails. And it's generally because I forgot about it until I come to the editing stage and then think, oh, I really should have picked something here. So yeah, we need to come over this side where the actual ratchet strap is, and we've got to take these straps off now, and then we're going to back this one right into the pond there and see how much money we get. So the trailer cost us 17,600 euros, and I am hoping, really hoping, that we get more than 17,000 from just this load. We might not, but I'm confident that we will, actually, because the amount of money that we've had previously from very large logs has been, it's promising. So I'm hoping that we do fairly well out of this. So I do actually want to turn it a bit sharp there. Now if I come back around like that, and we've also got to hope that this one can back into the pond without any mishap. We've got to back the trailer right in. At least we found last time. Now I've completely destroyed the underside of the trailer, and it's not backing in properly. How much of this pond... Oh, no, there we go. The whole thing. Right, I suppose I could have backed in further onto the side, actually. So we're now on 43,052. How much were we on to start with? The only issue is that my trailer appears to be stuck. Well, we got several with 2,000 euros. Right, this obviously wasn't the way to go about doing this. I did kind of come into this problem before. I think I could actually have gone onto the bank on the side there. And I think that's what I'm going to have to do this time. If I can bring it over that way. I've got a much more powerful vehicle now. I did have the Kramer last time I was here, the tiny little trailer. This is 220 horsepower Kirovitz tractor. This is a Russian mainstay of agriculture. This ought to be able to get out of here. So that was 40. We're up to 43,000, and I think previously we had 42,000 something. So I think we have made we've made more money than we had originally thought. Right. So I think next time I'll just go into the side to tip that out. Let's just take a look at our finances and see if we can get an idea of how much we've just made. New vehicle 17,600, sold wood 19,863 euros. So we've already made back the cost of that trailer, and we've got more wood that's already been felled up there. And I'm beginning to think, why didn't I just come down here and chop some of these trees down here? If I do forestry again tomorrow, well, actually, no, that's next week. If I do forestry again next week, I'll just come down here and I'll chop some of these trees down. So I just need to chop them with a chainsaw, clean them up, and then dump them in with the Kramer. I'm not going to get as much because they're smaller trees, but I could also clear an area for cutting grass, which is really close to our farm. I think that would be quite a good thing to have. Anyway, I will meet you back up in the forest at the top, and we can load up the rest of those logs into this trailer and see if we can make some more money. Right, well, this hill certainly makes him struggle. Black smoke belching out. He's really grunting to get up this hill. Probably, I'm wondering if he'd even be able to do this climb if he had a load of wood on the back. Because that wood was quite heavy. It did make him struggle a lot more on the way over to the sawmill than it did on the way back. Anyway, that's doing alright. We've got no problems there. We've got a couple logs, 3 or 4 I think, over there in front where the Kramer is. We've got a couple more there, sort of down in that dip. I've got one that's going to be a bit more difficult to get to. And I might chop down a few more. I'm going to start loading some of these, and then after that I'll decide whether or not I sort of finish loading today, or if I sell the final load at the beginning of next week. And if you guys do decide that you want me to do a bit more forestry, then I will, yeah, like I said, I'll probably just do it over right next to where the sawmill is, and we'll chop down some of the small trees there and clear an area that we could then use for doing a bit of mowing if we want to. We'll have to see, because I was also thinking it might actually be worth just once leasing a load of machinery for doing some serious forestry work. We could spend an entire week doing forestry, lease the Ponzi Scorpion, lease a front loader. I'm not sure what the numbers are and everything, and then spend a whole week doing it. Just come up here and clear fell a mountain of logs, and then use the front loader to gather up a whole load of logs and bring them all into one place. And I could even, oh, we've got a branch on there. I could even go and get an auto-load log trailer so that we don't have to manually load all of them. I know that some of those log trailers are actually pretty cool, and they do work really well. I would gather all the logs into a heap before I use the auto-load to gather them all up to sell them. Because the thing with the auto-load is you can auto-unload as well. And being able to auto-unload does mean that we could take them to the other sawmill and perhaps get a better price for our lumber. It's something that I'll have a think about that, and I'll sort of look into what our options might be for it. And I can talk about that with you next week. Yeah. Right, anyway, I'm going to load up a few more of these, and then I will get back to you once I have cleared the place of sawn timber and see if I'm in the mood for cutting just a few more trees before I finish up. Well, I've loaded up the rest of the logs that are up here. There is one tree, actually, that I just forgot. So, rather than leaving any behind, we won't leave a fallen man behind. We're going to go and get that tree, and I'm going to load that one up as well. And then I'm going to rush these over to the sawmill, because I would like to sell all of the timber that I felled yesterday, before I finish up this episode, so that I can just say this is how much we've got. I'd like to know how much money we got just from these few trees, because we didn't actually knock down very many, did we? I've already fastened the belts on there, so I'll quickly dump this log on and redo the tension belts on there, the ratchet straps and stuff, and then we can nip over and see how much money we get. And the more I think about it, the more I like the idea of doing a session of forestry. But, I mean, we've done a little bit of forestry today, and we've sort of shown what we can do with the stuff that we own, with the chainsaw, with the Kramer, doing the stuff here. But what I'd like to do is, I'm thinking that we should actually make an exception to our only buy stuff rule, and get a lease the Scorpion, get a whole load of stuff, cut down a whole load of trees with the Scorpion, and then we could also lease a front loader to get a load of timber and stuff, gather up all of the logs and stuff, bring them together in a big heap, and then finally, no, I didn't want to turn that one off. I'm going to do the tension straps from here, just to sort of show you that you can actually do it. You do it like that. There's one log on the top there, because it's not positioned correctly. If I undo those tension straps and then come down over here a bit, break a little bit maybe, I'm hoping that it'd sort of shake it around a bit and we could fasten up the tension belt and it would go over the top of that one, but it's not going to. Right, I'm going to make my way over to that lumberyard, and we will sell the last of these logs from our little expedition into forestry this week, and we will see what we make. I'm coming down the track on the opposite side of the pond. Obviously we can't drive through the pond, it's very, very deep, but I'm wondering if we could back in up at this end of the pond rather than down where we did it last time. It might be a bit easier. I don't want to try backing in on the wrong side of the pond just in case it does sort of have an effect. There's a deep pit there which I don't really want to get involved with, but I think that we ought to be able to back them in here. If we could back in there and get right into the pond. I know that the timber is down the other end, so it might be that that is the only place that we can do it from. I need to turn that way a little bit. If I unfasten the belts, you just press L to unfasten the belts like that. What I don't want is to end up dumping these logs into the pond and not getting any money for them. That would be a complete and total disaster. Oh no, we can. We get it from this end. Right. So I'll just keep backing right into the pond. It's the whole pond. It does seem to be the whole pond. So we didn't get that much for those because mostly it was the top end of them and we didn't have anywhere near as many as we did last time round. But we're now at 49,900 euros. So if we take a look at our finances again, we've made 26,700 euros. So basically we're 9,000 euros in profit on that little venture after buying this trailer. And that does mean that this trailer is now ours, is completely paid for, and any other forestry that we do just involving the machinery that we've used is a 100% pure profit venture. But I'm thinking that if we do a little bit again next week, just on the Monday, Thursday, just on Thursday's episode next week, if we chop down some of these trees here and use the Kramer and just carry them over and just drop them straight into the pond there, I think we could get a little bit of money out of that, because we wouldn't need to cut the trees in half at all. We could just have them as they are. But that's up to you. That's today's topic of conversation. Would you like to see me chop down a few of those trees and dump them in the pond? If not, I will be moving on to other tasks. We've got all sorts of things we need to do. We're going to swing round and take a quick look at the sunflowers and how they're doing, because they've gone past the stage where we can weed them. So we can't do anything else to them, which means that the yield, you get 100% yield bonus if you've ploughed and you've applied 3 stages of fertilizer. We've ploughed and we've done 1 fertilizer with the rolling. So these here have got a 40% yield bonus. So we've lost out on 60%. But generally, I think we're still going to do all right, because we've got this great big field full here. We've got another big field there, and then we've got a load of corn up the other end. So I don't think we're doing too bad, really. I think we'll be all right. And those fields over there, that looks like they're ready to harvest. So we're going to be doing that soon anyway. Yes, we've got 2 fields that are ready to harvest. These have moved on to the final growth stage. so they could be ready to harvest as well. So really, what we'll be doing next week, we'll either be doing the forestry, if you know, just chopping down a few of those trees over there, if that's what you guys want, or we will be getting stuck straight into our harvest. But that is down to you and what you guys decide to talk about today. But our vote for this week, my weekly question, is how many pigs would you like me to get in total? I will either get 100 pigs and then sell any of the extras. I think I'm going to put this one outside. We're going to squeeze up the side here and just in between the shrubs and that, and we're going to put it up here. So yeah, I'll either get 100 pigs and sell anything that we get past 100 pigs, or I will get 200 or 300 or 400. It's your vote, it's your game. Head into the comment section down below and let us know which number of pigs you would like me to get and why. And of course, don't forget to mouse over in the top right hand corner and let us know the one that you're actually voting for. And I will let everybody know next week what it is that we're hoping to get. So at the moment, like I said before, we're on 71 pigs now. 2 hours. Every 2 hours we're getting another one. So in 24 hours time we'll have had another 12 pigs. But that does reduce fairly quickly. And so yeah, the numbers are going to start rising quite quickly now. We've got enough money, I think, at the moment that we could go and get one more trailer load of pigs just to really boost it. And then we'll just start selling anything past that once we reach the number that we're after. But that's entirely down to you. Like I said, it's your vote, it's your game, so you decide what it's going to be. Not me, not anybody else, it's all down to you. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, please tell your friends all about me, get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar, goodbye, and see you later.